Toolbox tour, tool review number probably 20 something by now. We've been doing a lot of these. I showed this in my top 5 tool review video that I did that Ian at the Gibby was had started. This is a inner ball joint or tie rod end remover for cars and trucks. You know, I'm pretty sure it'll go up to a fair size there, but it's the inner tie rod end on your steering rack, not the outer. So how this works, it's got all these different keys that are all different sizes. So what you do is you pull your outer ball joint out of the hub, remove the jam nut as well. Then you take the boot off the steering rack, and then there's going to be a locking tab that you may have to knock back with a hammer and a little punch or screwdriver or whatever. And then it'll have 2 flats on it, or 4 flats, depending on the design of it. And you need to figure out which one of these fits that steering rack, right? So just find the one that's going to work, that's not going to slip. Very important. You want to round it off. This then sits, you're just going to set that on. That's right. So imagine that this is sitting on the inside of your rack, on the flats, ready to unscrew that inner steering rack. Or the inner tie rod end, sorry. And then you take this guy and you slide this up, with the threads and everything where you unscrewed your outer ball joint would go up inside this. And then this tool will go up to this key that's sitting on the rack that's going to unscrew your inner ball joint. You slide it over, you lock it, you just turn that little tab so that it locks in place. Well, here, sorry. I'll do it this way so you guys can see. So, just pretend this is sitting on your rack ready to pull your tie rod end off. You slide this over, then you turn this little lock so it can't fall off, right? And then you take your 1/2-inch breaker bar or whatever you got. Don't use an impact on this because you could do some damage. And then you it'll bust off that inner tie rod end, and then you can just wind it back out. And same thing going in, just take your new one, screw it in by hand, set this on, and then get your torque wrench. It's very important that you torque those when you're putting them on. It's your steering, it's what's keeping you on the road, really. And then you can torque it to whatever spec it is and knock the safety tabs back over. Put your boot back on, put your jam nut on, put your outer tie rod on, and off you go. I really like this. It's a huge time saver compared to pulling steering racks out or dropping subframes to get to racks and things like that. I bought this years ago, but I really don't do a lot of inner tie rod ends. I mean, in the last, 5 years, I've probably done 10 at the most. So this tool looks kind of new still, even though it's been around for a while and been sitting in my box for a while. So amazing piece of kit. I don't think it's super expensive. I'll put a link to the entire kit in the description. But really cool tool. Very innovative. Huge time saver compared to what we used to have to do, 15, 20 years ago.